Oh, yeah, we're live. I better pick a camera. There. So take that one off, put that one on, take that one off, and say, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Craft Cave Live. I hope your whole dealing with the heat's gone, but now it's carted again. So who have we got? Hello, Joanne Hedges. Hello, good evening, Dawn. Hi, everyone again. Our lovely Nicola's in. Excited about this bow maker, because if I can make bows, I will be elated. Anyone can. I wasn't going to show you that first, but I will show you that first, Nicola, because literally it is so genuinely easy to do. So we've got Helen Louise, Anne Hooper, Shirley, Leslie, Susan. Little bit of housekeeping. So let me just flick over. There we go. There I am. Let's make sure we're working. We are working. There's 24 people watching on YouTube. Hello, 24 people on YouTube. Remember, if you're watching on YouTube, switch over to Facebook if you want to make a comment. You will need to actually make any comments or questions on Facebook. And tonight, oh no, Carol, your foot's not good still. Is it infected? Bless you. Everyone send love to our Carol. So Elaine, Shaz, Connor Beer. Yay, love that. I love the little hand up waving. I'm not good with emojis. I'm really not. I'm crap at them. So I wasn't going to use the bow maker first. I wanted to show you, and I need to pull the card because I think a lot of people would want to know. This is really easy, this background. I'm going to show you how to do a full piece, but this is really easy. This is actually genuinely ribbon, and it's woven, and it's not time consuming or difficulty. Sorry, I didn't check in for the previous show, did watch it. Mary, you don't have to check in. Nobody has to check in. Good evening, Vivian. Good evening, Debbie. We're getting loads of people. So I wanted to show you that because I know I've done this sort of with ribbon before, and people have always asked, and then I've not really, and then it was ages ago, and I'm getting really heavily into ribbon more and more now. I think it's a lot to do with the fact that I've got the biggest collection in the world. I don't know if I turn this camera around, if you can actually see. If you can see there, there's 1, 2, 3, there's about 8 of those ribbon stands. See, it's a complete mess. Total mess. Really desperately need some time off to get it all tidied. Thanks, but going to take it quite a while. It's a big hole in it. Oh, I think Sammy's just... You ordering Chinese?
Yeah, bye.
What have you got me?
Nothing, you're going out. You said you wanted...
Ah, he's ordered Chinese without me. I heard him saying bye, darling, and that's normally... That's the only person he says that to is our lovely Chinese lady. Sorry, so that was our Sammy. Oh, good, Sarah Jane's back properly. She had one eye on the footy. Was there a match on? I wouldn't know. I really wouldn't know. So I wanted to... So completely lost that. So I've got loads of ribbon and everything's a mess, and I need to take some time off at some point to actually do that. But for Nicola, I will do a bow first. And I'm going to put the bow... I'm going to put the camera down so you can see me doing it. So you're not going to see my face. But I'm going to try and put it down. Oh, no, you get to see my big tummy. No, nobody wants to see that. Let's come back a little bit. So, our Nicola said if she can make a bow with this, she can make a bow with anything. Now, remember, it's solid wood, and that makes a difference. It really genuinely does. If you've got a lot of plastic ones, you know they bend, they break, they snap, and I could never work the complicated ones. Oh, Maureen says, it was lovely chatting to you at Bolton on Sunday. It was absolutely fab, Maureen. And I have to say thank you, and I can't remember... I'm not sure. One of the lovely ladies, and I'm terrible. I think it was Marjorie, gave me a badge for Sam, and he absolutely loved it, Marjorie. He really, really did. So I'm going to grab a roll of ribbon at random. So this is an old Crafts 2 one. Any excuse to open a new roll, that's my excuse. But a few bits on this. Wood makes a difference. It means you can tie bows with absolutely anything. Yeah. Samantha says she loved the YouTube videos for the bows. Remember, there are 4 YouTube videos that were launched yesterday morning for the bow maker, showing you how to make 4 different ones. Oh, Anne Brown's craft room's finished tomorrow. Yay, well done, Anne. He's officially resting tonight. Good. And June's written instructions for them all as well. So this is the easiest thing ever to do. So I'm going to make one a little bit bigger. I'm going to set it on 2. And I'm going to make a simple double bow. So this is for you, Nicola. So you go around the front and you cross them over. Yeah? So I've gone round the front and I've crossed them over. Yeah? And I'm going to go back round to the front. Yeah? So done. I've crossed them over. I'm going to go back round to the front. So they cross. I'm going to cross them at the back. And I'm going to go on overhead for this so you can see. And I cross them over. The one underneath is the one, I hold this. And the one underneath, yeah, I take over the front onto where you've got 3 holes. That's how you know where the middle is, 3 holes. I bring it through and I pull it tight. And don't worry about how tight you pull it. Honestly, don't worry how tight you pull it. It's wood. So you've got to give it some work. If I've not broken it by now, in well over a year of testing it, then you won't. See how the pegs move? Yeah, that's because they're wood. I've gone back round again. Yeah, so let's go back onto the front. So back round again. Yeah, and that way I can then just tie that off. So I tie that off. I'm going to hold that up. Cut it at an angle. Hold that one up. Cut it at an angle. And that's it done. That's how simple it is to do a bow. Yeah? And then this is where Anne Mountjoy, so I love the hat pins that Leslie's been doing. She sent for some hat pins, so she's got stacks of beads to use up. That's one of the best ways to actually add to a bow is the hat pins. If you're loving Leslie's cards, you're going to see a lot more with bows on and the hat pins because she's really into that at the moment. So you can see that's it, Nicola, done. Really easy, really simple, and it's right every single time. Those 2 bows, because they're sitting apart, they can't soak into each other. And literally, you can now, I promise you, make a bow, Nicola, which is what you wanted to be able to do. So remember, guys, if you're watching, if you've got any questions, anything you want to know, just put the word question or Q in the comments and I will answer you if I possibly can. And that's the whole idea of Craft Cave, is that you ask your questions and basically we can answer them. I've just flicked over to YouTube and I've got a little comment from Shahab. Good evening, John and Sam from sunny Costa del Sol. What are you doing to me? And poor Penny is kindly holding on to all my orders to post them to me when I'm home on the 12th of July. Oh, bless Shahab. Oh, you'll be home in time for the Christmas launch, hopefully, if things go right. A tiny flower stuck in the middle of the bow looks great, I think. Do you know, I sometimes think that's all it actually needs. I've got a little collection here. But look, how pretty is that? That, to me, could be a whole card. In fact, I'm going to turn that into a whole card and show you how I would do that, because I think it's worth it. So get a piece of coconut white, and I'm going to put this on a 6x6 card blank. So I'm going to take a piece, cut it to 5 by 5. Yeah, nice and simple. Okay, I want that blue. So I'm going to take a little bit of the blue over to my card stack and find a colour that's close to it. And I'm going to cut that to 5 1/8 by 5 1/8. Okay. So just going to glue them together. Oh, guys, if anyone wasn't watching earlier, the glue is back. It's finally back in stock. So click onto the Art of Craft. I wonder if I've got... I know I don't put links on normally. No, that's not right. I haven't got it. I thought I might have had the link for the glue. I haven't. So I was going to put that on for you. So, would love to see that on a hat, but it would look beautiful on the hat box. It really, really would. So, let's just put that down. So, that, I think, can work as a card. It's like a corsage, yeah? So, how do I ground it? Well, I use a bit of the ribbon. And all I'm going to do is turn the card to the back. And I pick one of the lines on my mat. So pick one of the lines on my magic mat to get it straight. So I'm going 2 inches in. Little bit of sticky tape. Tape it down. And then going to wrap that round. And then pull it straight. And I check on the other side that it's straight once I've wrapped it round. So I make sure it's right on there. Take another little bit of ticky tape and just tape that down. And I'm going to chop that off. Now, I want to secure this ribbon. Yeah, I don't want it to waste. Oh, thank you, Anne. Our Anne's put the link on for the glue. Everyone's been asking. It is finally back in stock. I didn't even know it was back. But so if you actually put onto the notify me, then you will have got an email today, because I know a load of people told me earlier they haven't. Maureen's just ordered 12. Yeah, Maureen, it comes in boxes of 6. Oh, Mark Joy says, with the mats, no more wonky cards. That's the idea. Sarah Jane, it would be lovely as a hair bow for a little girl. What you do is, as well, I'll tell you in a minute when I do that one. But basically, if you want to make this into a hair bow and you want to use the card as well, give it a spray with hairspray, just to give it a little bit of a coating, rather than it being raw card. So give it a couple of coats of hairspray, front and back, before you add it to the bow, and then add it onto the hair bow. That way it will give that more protection. It won't last forever, but it will work. So I'm then just going to remove the foam tape from here. So yeah, sorry, I was saying, I've been chatting away. Deborah's been on holiday in Aberdeen. Ooh. Love. I've never been to Aberdeen. I've only ever been to, I think, the Highlands and Glasgow. I've only ever been to Scotland once. That sounds terrible, doesn't it? I did love it, though. It was beautiful. Christine said she ordered 6 earlier. The glue comes in a box of 6. So if you're going to order multiples, get a 6 or a 12. And that way you'll get a full box or 2 boxes. And it's easier for them to post. So all I'm going to do is stick that down onto a card blank, a 6x6, and then you want to take a spare piece because you want it to look right. And this is why I foam tape it, because I don't want that to pull off. And all I do is knot and tie a knot in. So don't try and tie a knot and then attach it, or start trying to tie a bow on. Tie it like that, and then a couple of fishtails. Yeah, I can move that knot to wherever I want, but then look, it looks like a wrapped gift. So all I'm going to do is take some 3D glue gel, which is the best thing to stick bows on with. I think I'm going to have to send this card to Nicola. Sarah Jane's never been to Scotland, so I've been once more than her. Until I hadn't been to Scotland until I was in my 40s. And I only went for work. I went for a demo day. I'd love to travel in Scotland. Sam's been to Edinburgh. He said it was absolutely fab. He loved it. So a little bit of glue gel, which is the best thing to attach your ribbon because it's not got any water in it. And then another little blob, and then this little spray of flowers in the centre. And then I can press it down. But you can see there, I've beautifully got. That one's a little bit long, so let's cut that one off a little bit. And let's go a little bit shorter with that one, trimmed up. But there, to me, a card that's come from nowhere. It's come from nothing. And all we've done, So, oh, bless. Oh. Maureen said she was looking for the A4 silicone mat earlier and put it in a basket. Then her hubby told her he'd already ordered her the bow maker and the mat. Oh, bless. You need the mat if you're going to use the bow maker. But you see how easy that is, and all we've used is a piece of wood. It's a piece of wood. So I will show you the other one. The videos are done for this, and then I will show you the plaiting, I promise you. So this time I'm going to do the tuxedo bow. Slightly bit different. Anne Hooper went to Edinburgh years ago with her daughter and husband's family just for the day to go to the zoo and see the pandas. Emma climbed almost to the top of Arthur's seat. I don't know who Arthur is, but did he mind? So what we're going to do is, let's go overhead. Same idea, I'm just going to go through those first set and round that first set. Yep. I'm going to come round the second set, just like that. I'm going to cross them over through the middle, watching every time those 3 holes. Pull it tight, go round again, ties that off. We can then take that through and knot it off. So you don't need someone to help you to make your bows. So we'll cut our tails and we're done. But that gives us the perfect, what I call a tuxedo bow. So you've got 2 full loops that sit separately to each other. But I'm not using here any posh ribbon. I mean, this isn't expensive. This isn't wired or anything. Love Scotland, says our Nicola. That's why she immigrated from Australia. Only downside is the winter, which lasts from approximately January through to about December, I believe, in some places. But simple. So that's a couple of texts on the bow. So I can't wait to see some of your Christmas cards with bows on them, Nicola, once you've got to grips with it. So I was going to show you the weaving. And this is really easy, honestly. I bought the mat at Christmas. It's still in the box. Can you cut on the mat? You cannot cut on the mat, Debbie. No. If you cut on the mat, you will cut it. It does everything but cutting. It holds things in place. So what I'm going to do is, this is honestly really, really easy. I'm going to take some power tape. You can use anything that you want to. And all I'm going to do is put a little row of power tape on the top and on the bottom. Just like that. Okay. Right, and what I'm doing is I'm using, so I've made up a frame using the frame makers. You can do this any size at all. So I've made up a frame and I'm just going to put it, my frame makers are mathematical. You know me, you know how boring I am, you know that fact. So it means that I can use the lines on the mat to match. And that's what helps me get things straight. So all I'm going to do, reveal my tape, take some ribbon. I've got a sort of two-tony one. But I'm just going to start, so I want it to be in one edge. Oops. So I'm going to start the dark and I'm going to put a bit on there and pull it along the line on the mat. So I've got it straight and cut it off. 1. I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to put the next one next to it. 2. Cut it off. I'm going to flip the ribbon over again. 3. The original one I did had 3, I think. Did it? Or did it have 4? I'll do 4 anyway. Why not? 3 and 4. Okay. Right. And I cut that off. That's it. That's how simple it is. Yeah? Anne Brown, I think I finally got through to family and friends Wednesdays sacred. Oh, bless you. So all I need to do now is to put some power tape. I don't need it all the way around, but I'm going to put it all the way around anyway. Down the other 2 sides. Down the other 2 sides. We never thought about Scotland. We thought about Wales. We have thought about moving to Wales at some point because of the countryside and the isolation and the thing that we're both Very, very antisocial people. So we thought that might be perfect for us. So what I'm going to do now is all you need to do is make sure your first piece is right. Okay. So all I'm going to do is match a piece up. Yeah. So that I'm creating a square there. That's it. On the same line. But I'm just going to cut that off. And then I weave. It's as simple as that. So I go over, under, over, under. Just like that, yeah. And use the mat, place it back, use the mat and pull it straight against that line. And that's your first bit done. That's how simple. Louise lives outside Glasgow and within half an hour you're in the countryside. I mean, to be fair, we live in a big city in Sheffield, but I noticed when I went to Bolton on Sunday morning, I knew how close we were, but I didn't realise that we were literally... It took 17 minutes from our house to be in the Peak District National Park. That's how close it is. So all I do now is I'm just going to load up my next piece, cut it a bit longer, up against that one, and just weave the other way. So under, over, under, over. Yeah, pull it tight, up against that, and we're done. But look how pretty that looks already. Same again. Take a piece, lay it down, cut it a bit longer, just so I've got enough room. And again, over, under, just like you're weaving. It's actually easier with ribbon than with paper. So it can make a really nice background simply. So just stick that down. Yeah. People in Scotland are so welcoming. That's so true. That is so true. I was so welcomed. And people knew I liked... I'd not had iron brew for years. I have to have diet, unfortunately. And so many people brought me diet iron brew. I mean, I went home with about, what, equivalent of like 3 cases of it. And it was so wonderful of everyone. It didn't last long, though. And, of course, I haven't got any left now. So... because it was years ago, so it only lasted about a week. You can't get it, he still can't get it here. I've not found it anywhere. So last one, same again. Just weave it through. And that's why I like using the mat as well, because I can check and make sure on the mat that it won't move. And I can pull that tight and then just trim off all those little extra bits. So if you're like me, you've got so more ribbon than you could shake a stick at. But look at that. That to me is such an effective background and something different to use with your dies. Yeah? Just works so differently. So what I want to do now is, obviously I want to make a feature of that. So grab some foam tape and cover over everywhere where I put the power tape and everywhere the ribbon is with the foam tape, because what that will do is it will hold it doubly in place. Yeah. What's Miriam would look lovely as an Easter card with flowers in the middle. Oh, and she just had a can of iron brew. Ooh. I'm very jealous, and yeah, it would like a lovely Easter card. So just going to take a little bit of coconut white card and cut it. So I know these are 5 by 7, so I'm going to go to nearly 5 by nearly 7 so that it doesn't pop out the other side. And just a plain piece of card. I don't need anything else. And then on there, put that on the back. But you see there then, we've got a perfect background that didn't exist. Yeah, so let's grab, if we've got one. I'm just grabbing a slightly bigger card blank. 5.5, 7.5 will make this. Yeah, need to bring that gold back in. So let's grab a piece of gold. So I'm just using some of the gold waterfall card. I'm putting that to 5.25 by 7.25. So everything stands out. I didn't realise we've got so many people in from Scotland or from around Scotland. I don't think I've ever tried haggis. I probably should like it because I love black pudding and things like that, being very northern. And I don't mind faggots. They've got to be the right ones. So let's go. Just cut there. So putting that extra layer on just makes it make sense. Really, I should have put a red layer on as well, but I'm not going to. I'm really not going to. But what I want to do now is to finish that off. So I'm going to add a bow. And I want a small but quite a nice bow. So I'm going to go with slots 1. Take my other out. And then all I do is cross over once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, yeah. Cross them at the back, go around the front, bring it through. Tight. This is why wood makes a difference. It would break in plastic. Pull that one through and just tie that one off. Just like that. I always cut my fish tails or my ends or mermaid tails, I never know what people call them, whilst it's in the bone maker. Pull those 2 like that, and there we go. But the perfect, messy but neat bow that can't sit flat. If you use that method, it can never sit flat. But that just works and finishes it off. And I have got a sentiment, so I've stamped the sentiment from one of the 2 J's. So may all your birthday wishes come true. Today is the day I'm thinking of you. So let's take a little bit of gold and we'll measure that one. Good evening, Becky. That's our lovely Deborah's daughter. So this is 1.5 by 2.5. So I want to cut a little bit of gold at 1.5 1/8, so 1 5/8 by 2 5/8. There we go. And then I'm just going to glue that one on. The bow maker's fab. Sorry, someone's just said the bow maker looks amazing. Oh, Carol, it is. It really is. Oh, no, tripe. No, Julie, no. I think we've had that discussion before about things like tripe and chicken and bag and things like that. So you can see there. So just put that on. So I've got my little tag. So I can decide on where's the best. I actually like it there so that you're seeing all of that beautiful sort of piece. It's almost got a tartan look to it. I know our Nicola will tell me it hasn't. So a little bit of glue gel and a cocktail stick. I'm going to go further up. So that lets me come out of the frame and just put it in. And then I'm going to go on with my bow. Just there. And then if I find them... Ooh, weren't they in that drawer? Because our Leslie's been doing it so much, I haven't made any, but I've got a few little pearl hat pins. But this makes making your bow for your hat so much better. Oh, and Mountjoy says, I think tartan would look amazing behind the bow. I think you could be right, actually, Anne. So let's go in. With a few. There we go. Simple pearl headed hat pins. And there we go. But literally, and I've got to be honest, this frame was scrap. So this frame was a piece that I'd got made up, because I have a box of frames that I made up that I've not used. But all we've done is use ribbon and a bow. That's it. I used to, Nicola said, I used to drink whiskey back in Australia, so I just married a man that made it. LOL. So moved here. Now I drink gin. Ooh, that's the one drink. I don't like gin. I don't like juniper. But you see, that's really, really easy to do. But that's working on a frame. So where did I get the hat pins? I got the hat pins many, many, many years ago. They came out of a box, Louise. Came out of a box that I've had for years. I think they were Creative Expressions. And I can't remember. I think I probably bought them from Inspirations. Sorry, just having a drink. But I don't know exactly where I got them from. But yeah, they're very old. You might have to have a look on Amazon or the River Place or something like that. See, I nicked one of our Leslie's hat pins for this card. So that's not mine. That's one of our Leslie's. But you can see, again, how well it works out just doing that. So what I thought I would show you then as well is, and I need to go and grab some more ribbon from my ribbon stash. So let's see what we've got. So talk amongst yourselves. Oh, yeah. Let's actually use two. Let's use those two colours. So how we can actually make a background that with it in the same weaving technique where we can actually move it and then frame it afterwards. So how we make a bigger piece. So for this, you need the mat. So you genuinely need the mat. Anne can't drink gin, it makes me cry. Didn't they used to call it Mother's Ruin? I don't know why. Someone's going to tell me there's going to be a horrible reason, isn't there? But isn't that what gin used to be called? Glass-headed pins from a knitting shop work for simple hat pins. Great idea, Anne. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use foam tape. So I've put foam tape at one end. I'm going to put foam tape at the other end. Okay. And remember, I'm using the mat because I can peel it off. If you're not using the mat, you're really going to struggle with this one. And this is one of those, oh, I had this as an idea, but didn't actually, didn't actually try it first. But so I'm going to just put my weft on again. So I'm going green and I'm using the lines on the mat. And I'm putting a strip every ½ inch in effect. So I've gone green, red. I'm going to go green. Then I'm going to go red. And if you notice, I'm putting them on the line. So I'm giving space in between. So I'm going on the lines between each one. So green. Probably not the most exciting thing to watch. I'm sorry, guys. But I just thought it was an interesting thing to do as something different for a change. So, green. And I'll finish with a red as I started with a green. Nice and simple. And that's the way that I can get my sort of weft, if that makes sense. Yeah, so that's the sort of the idea way of I can do it. So now I can take my green and just literally weave through. Now, you notice they're lifting a bit. So, all I'm going to do is take a little bit more foam tape and put that on there. I like the rhubarb gin and ginger with ginger ale. Ooh. Yeah, I can remember when I used to be into vodka, I used to like all the flavoured vodkas. In fact, I used to make pear drop vodka. I used to love pear drops. I've not had pear drops in years. So I'm just weaving it through. Nice and simple. Same as we were doing before, but I'm doing it on my desk. And because I've used foam tape, these are easier to pick up. It's not completely flat. So this is a complete experiment. So because I've left a gap, I need to leave a gap. So what I do need to do is think about this sensibly. Let's put a bit of foam tape down one side and the other to lock them in. So pull that off. Someone said, oh, what Sarah says, they still do them is in old-fashioned sweet shops. I really should look, shouldn't I? Again, I don't get to a lot of sweet shops. I don't actually get out of the house an awful lot. That makes me sound very sad, doesn't it? It's just true. So, same idea again. It's just, but can you see, you can, and someone's told us which way the weft and the waft go, and I can't remember what the words are. So let's go through like that. Do you know, the last time I did this, it seemed so much easier. I can remember why now as well, and I will show you in a minute the bit that I think I probably did before and missed. So let's take that one on. But if you think how long you spend constructing sometimes, this makes it a lot easier. So yeah, I used some tweezers before. So it's a lot easier when you use tweezers because you can get them right underneath. That was it. Almost like using a needle or a bodkin. So all I'm doing is following those lines again. Just like that. So weaving it through. Oh, Moira used to drink whiskey and iron brew. So under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over. So I would keep building like that and then seal it off, and I'll show you. I'll do one more layer and then I'll show you how we actually take it off, because it won't be completely finished, but it will work. Let's just take that one through. Last one. So I'm going to stop at this. I would fill the whole thing and follow the lines completely, just to make sure. So I basically got the whole piece woven. But I don't want to bore you too much by taking up too much time on doing it. And just put another, I'll just put another green on. It doesn't actually as time consuming as you'd think, really. So let's go through with that one. There we go. Okay, yeah. So again, When I did this before, I did it with power tape, which made it a little bit, it sort of made it a little bit, didn't make it stronger, and I took a little bit slower with it. So all I need to do is reveal all of this tape. And then grab a scrap piece of card and stick it on. It was Mountjoy. She's moaning that the grass was growing so fast that her son joked and said, "Pour whiskey on it, Mum, it will come up half cut." See there, we have the perfect piece. And all we would do, and I'm going to go into my magic box and grab one. Probably not the right colours. I probably don't have the right colour. But grab a frame. And I could frame that. So I'm going to say I need to come in a little bit. Oh, I've got some foam tape already on here. So let's just put that down. There we go. And then just trim it out. So it does look like a lot of faff, but I wanted to show you a way to do it without actually having to involve a frame at all, or a frame at the beginning. Because I was going to put it in a circular wreath frame, but I realised I'd have to do a lot bigger piece to do that, so it's going to take some time. So let's just trim that. Gosh, our scissors are Teflon coat. Are they? No, they're titanium, aren't they? Which is why they're cutting through all of this and not getting gunked up. Good scissors are one of the best things ever to have in your craft stash. So let's just trim that bit out. It looks great, John. A big plant pot on the upside down part. Ooh, ooh. I like that idea. But yeah, so, I mean, it really probably wanted to be, I don't know actually. I like it kind of half done like that. I really do. Yeah, I thought it needed all doing and stuff. So I'll show you how we can use both colours of ribbon to make a bow again. So I'm going to go into those markers at 2. Pull that together. This is the great thing about a wooden one. You can use as thick as you want to. So I'm just going to go 1, 2, 3 this time. Cross them over. Pull tight, cross them over. It's got a real Christmas vibe to it, actually. I suppose I've used red and green, haven't I? Oh, I knew it wouldn't be long till someone mentioned brandy and baby sham. That was the drink. Well, my nan always used to have Advocar in, and I never understood it. And then she said it was for Christmas, and it was for snowballs, which I think are a similar sort of idea. But literally, you just pull each bit out, and they won't sit flat. But every time, I'm not an expert in bow making, but every time you use this, because you can pull it so tight, you get the perfect bow. Mandy says she's just ordered the bow makers. That's what I struggle with. I struggled for a long time until I found a really simple wooden bow maker many years ago. Then I got my ex-father-in-law to make me my own, which was very similar to this. It just had more rows, which I didn't end up using. And it's taken us years to get to the point of being able to have one that works and has that double row that you need. Question: gold, red and green ribbon for a bow. Can you do 3 layers of ribbon on it, John? Yeah, of course you can. I'll do that for you in a second, Anne. So just again, glue gel is the best thing think this is an old one that I've put in the wrong dump bin, but let's have a look. Nope. Oh, that's good. So let's just put that in that corner. Because sometimes you don't need anything more. Just a simple white card sentiment or nothing. Avocado, vodka and lemonade. Is that Advocar vodka and lemonade? Is that a snowball? Is that what you meant, our Susan? I hope so. But yeah, but something very different. But I like that. But it's not something you'll get from a die. It's something that works that little bit differently. So I'll pop that on a card blank. We'll put a photo of that out tomorrow. Oh, it works on green. Right, so what did our Anne ask about 3 colours? What's the smallest bow you can do? I'll show you. This is the smallest bow you can do. So which one are we on? Are we on front? Let's go overhead. So I've got them in position 0 and position 1. Yeah, let's go round. Take it through. Bring it under. Yeah, pull it tight. Take it again. Pull it tight. Knot it off. Exactly the same procedure. There you go. That is the smallest bow you can do. Look, he's tiny, but still perfect. So that's the smallest bow you can do, which is about 1 inch. Yeah, so let's go and get some gold, because I think Anne or someone, I'm forgetting names, asked about 3 colours and different sizes. So let me grab. There we go. So here I've got some gold organza ribbon. I've got some red. Let's grab another piece of green because I need a little bit longer piece. So you can do 3 colours together easily, and you can do different widths and different fabrics as well really easily. So all I do, pull all 3 of them together. Oh, who's got baby sham glasses? Have they got the little baby sham character in there as well? So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to go to position 2, wrap them round all 3, yeah? Cross them over again, all 3, bring them to the back. Yeah, I'm going to take all 3 round and bring them back, and then I'm just going to take one of the thinnest round the second time. Hope that makes sense. Yeah, and then just knot it off. So first of all, I'm tying the thin green, then I'm going to tie the thin red. I find it easier when I'm using different widths and different to do that way. Yeah, it's all tied and knotted together, and there we go. There's our gold, red and green. Different sizes, different weights. See why I say about cutting these bits off? It's a lot easier while it's on the actual bow maker. Just like that. So you can make different colours, different mixes, different widths, different weights, all from the same. She has a cherry bee glass. Ooh, but yeah. So it was our Anne that asked about that. So yeah, you can pull them out. You can leave them on top. You can pull them out like that. You can really sort of play with them. It's almost like 2 of them are kept inside. But it's really easy to do because the bow maker makes it so simple. I actually really like that. And it'll work really well. As we get towards Christmas, I will be showing you how we can make some bigger bows on the bow maker and how we actually then can attach them to a wreath and make a wreath, because I love making wreaths, but also how we actually can use the Duflex with this to help us make wreaths as well, because there's a way you do it with pipe cleaners, and it's one of the reasons why there's a double layer. So if I show you, the reason there's a double layer is you can actually take, if you want to, let me try, I'm trying to do it if I have got some of that. There we go. So the idea is, if I want some layers of, say this is tulle and this has got no colour to it at all, so that doesn't help. So let's just take 3 layers to start with. So what I can do is take 3 layers of tulle like that, and then I can put them between there. Yeah, so I can put them between there, and I can then literally cut them off to get them straight. 5, cut it at 5. I've got that middle. I can take another piece of that, or a piece of a neutral coloured ribbon. So I usually use the really thin stuff for this. Yeah, and still go in the centre, because you've got that centre line, and tie it off. And that way, that you can then pull out, and they'll all be even, and you can use that to add on to your wreath. And you can do the same with a Duflex. I can never get the right name right for it. So, no, oh, Miriam says, I hope I get some Chinese food. No, I said earlier that I wanted chicken. I wanted KFC for some reason. So Sammy's decided that he'll have that and I'll have what I wanted. But you can see there how easy that is to do. So, thank you for joining me tonight. It's getting a little bit warm again, isn't it? Thank you for joining me tonight. I hope you've enjoyed it, either the earlier hour or this hour, or either of them, or both, whatever. I will be back on Sunday night at 6 o'clock with a brand new little John Next Door launch on the